Hello everyone. Today I will give you your first chapter's first unit, solutions of exercises, or you can say as it is notes for you all. Principles of object oriented programming. This is your unit 1 in which there are some exercises. Many of you may be not having book, so that's why I am giving you all the solutions of your exercises as well as the questions asked in the book and some questions from my side also. So let us start our today's class with your first part. The first part is fill in the blanks. In fill in the blanks, the things are written in bold letters. That is your answer. There are 8 fill in the blanks in your book, and these all 8 are having in front of you all. I am representing in front of you all. The first one, an act of using essential features without including background details is called data abstraction, as I told you in my lecture. Whenever you are not giving the background detail to the user and you are just giving the things what is required for them, that is known as data abstraction. So data abstraction is your answer. Keep in mind. Next, in an object oriented programming, the stress is given on data, not on function, because in object oriented programming the total stress is on data, but in procedure oriented programming the stress is on where? On function. Then after that, wrapping up of data and function together as a single unit is called encapsulation. Then an object is your blank space. An object has a unique identity through which it may differ with some characteristics and behavior. So as I told you before that all the bold letters is your answers. So you can underline it also. Okay. Here I forgot to make it in bold letters, but this is the answer. The objects may communicate with each other through functions. Then in POP, the global data are loosely attached to the function. After that, the process by which a class acquires the property of another class is known as inheritance. Means here one acquires the property of another one, means the derived class acquiring the property of superclass. So this is your answer. Inheritance is the answer. And when in object oriented programming using a function for many purposes is termed as polymorphism. Is termed as polymorphism. This is known as polymorphism. Means one name having different work. So keep in mind, you all have to write it in your fair copy. One register you have to make for your class 9th, and in that only you have to do all this work. Now move to the next slide. The next one is true or false. The first one asked In assembly language, the instructions are given in terms of zeros and ones. No, it is the use of binary one. Binary language, binary. Binary In binary level language, the instructions are given in terms of zeros and ones. But in assembly level language, it is written like add, sub. These types of instructions are given in assembly language. So keep in mind. Next, Pascal is a structure oriented programming language. It's true. As I told you before, all things are not given in your book. Some are given by my own. So keep in mind. So don't be confused about it. Machine level language requires a translator to convert input instructions to be understood by the machine. False. Next, compilers and interpreters are referred to as language processors. Yes, to make our language to be understood by the user, to make our language to be understood by the computer, we require language processors, and compilers and interpreters works like that only. Then, a process according to which a class acquires the characteristics from another class is encapsulation. No, encapsulation is what? It is a wrapping up of data into a single unit. So that's why it is known as, it is not true, it is false. If I say the true version, then in place of encapsulation you have to write inheritance. Procedure oriented program stress on data. No, it is stress on function. So in place of data you can write function. C++ is also an object oriented programming language. It's a true. An object is identified by its characteristics. This is also true. Then function is a set of objects that share common states and behavior. No, objects. The answer will be object. Object is a set of class is a set of objects that share common states and behavior, not object. In place of function it should be class. Then encapsulation keeps data safe from outside interference. Yes, this is right. Next, name the following. Here some short questions I asked. Short I said means one word type questions, where I will ask some questions and this is the answers. Answers are in bold letters. Keep in mind. Two categories of low level languages. The examples will be assembly language and machine language. Then two procedure oriented languages. Procedure means there is top down approach, and I had given in the previous lecture the examples of this language. The examples are basic and C language. I made all these questions based on my previous lectures. Two examples of data abstractions in our daily life. The first one is electrical switchboard and the second one is ATM. Yes, we are not knowing the background details of it. How electrical switchboard is working, how ATM is working, we don't know, and we don't require also. Electrical switchboard is for only switching on and off our equipments, and ATM for taking out my money. Next, two examples of real world objects: television, car, bike, cycles, anything you can write. Then two basic principles of object oriented programming: encapsulation, inheritance, you can write also polymorphism, data abstraction. So this is the name the following. Next one, write short notes on the following. Object oriented programming. The first definition you have to write about object oriented programming. Answer I have given here. Object oriented programming is an approach in which stress is laid on data rather than functions. The data values remain associated with the functions of a particular block of the program so as to encourage data security. Next, data abstraction. Data abstraction is the act of representing the essential features without knowing the background details. You can add some examples also in that. Encapsulation, wrapping up of data and functions that operate on that data into a single unit is called encapsulation. You can write it also like that. Wrapping up of data into a single unit is known as encapsulation. Then machine level language, a language which understood by only machine, that is known as machine level language. For the processor to perform any computation, we need to give the instructions and data as a sequence of zeros and ones. The binary sequence that a processor understands is known as its machine level language. Machine level language is made up of instructions and data that are all binary numbers. Machine level language of a processor differs from vendor to vendor. So programs written in machine level language of one type of processor will not work on a different type of processor. So this is the definition of machine level language. Some more definitions or some more words you have to keep in mind. Polymorphism. What is polymorphism? In object oriented programming, the polymorphism provides the means to perform a single action in multiple different ways, and in this you can give examples. Sixth one is procedure oriented programming. Procedure oriented programming basically consists of a list of instructions for the computer to follow, and these are organized into groups known as functions. In procedure oriented programming, most of the functions share global data, and this data moves more openly around the systems from one function to the other. No need to explain because these all are explained in previous video lectures. Next, inheritance. Inheritance enables new classes to receive or inherit the properties and methods of existing classes. And the last one is assembly level language. In assembly level language, instructions are written in more English-like words known as mnemonics. These instructions are not understood by the processor directly. They are converted into equivalent machine level instructions through a translator program called assembler. Assembly level language is machine independent, that makes it unsuitable for writing portable programs that can execute across machines. So this is the explanation of these words. The words which are bold, that are our words, and we have to define it. Next, distinguish between object oriented programming and procedure oriented programming. This difference I had given you in my lectures also. Here I have given it in a sequence. The stress in, if I have to write in object oriented programming, the stress is put on data rather than function. The data is restricted to be used in a specific program area. It follows bottom up programming approach. This is a object oriented programming. And if I talk about procedure oriented programming, the stress is put on function rather than that data. It allows data to flow freely throughout the program. It follows top down programming approach. This is known as the difference between object oriented programming and procedure oriented programming. These all things you have to write in your copy. Next difference is between compiler and interpreter. What is compiler? Compiler converts the whole source program into the object at once. Means the whole source program is being converted in bytecode by the help of compiler at once. Whereas interpreter converts the source program into the object program one line at a time. One line at a time it will execute instead of whole line. It displays the errors for the whole program together after the compilation. Means if it will execute at once, then simply it will give all the errors at once, whereas interpreter gives all the errors line by line. The last one is the difference between high level language and low level language. What is high level language? High level language is machine independent, whereas low level language is machine dependent. Means high level languages are not machine dependent, they are independent, they are users language which users use to write. Low level language is basically, we can say, the machine level language. High level language is human friendly, as I told you before. Low level language is machine friendly. High level language needs a compiler or an interpreter for translator to machine code. Yes, the most important thing is that it requires a translator to convert our language to computer's language or machine language, whereas low level language might need an assembler for translation to machine code, because assembly language is the example of low level language. So assembler required to change our language, to change the languages for machine. Last one, program written in high level language are easier to modify and debug because it is user friendly, whereas program written in low level language are hard to modify and debug. So these are the differences, and these three differences are found in your first unit. Next, the question answers. These question answers you have to write. The first question, enlist the features of object-oriented programming. All features of object-oriented programming you have to list out. Then some of the features of object-oriented programming are: first, it gives stress on data item rather than functions. Second, it makes the complete program simpler by dividing it into number of objects. Third, the objects can be used as a bridge to have data flow from one function to another. Next, the concept of data hiding enhances security in programs. It is highly beneficial to solve complex programs. So this is known as features of object-oriented programming. And I think I taught you also in my previous lectures. Which OOP principle implements function overloading? Function overloading done by polymorphism. Polymorphism implements function overloading. It is the process of using a function or method for more than one purpose. In function overloading, we write more than one function with the same name but differing in the number and types of their arguments to perform different tasks. This way we get different behaviors using the same function's name. Now, write three benefits of object-oriented programming. Three benefits of object-oriented programming are: the reusability of the program code is enhanced. Data abstraction makes the software easier to handle. Data abstraction means hiding the background details. Only essential features is being discussed. Then software for complex tasks can be easily developed. So these are three benefits for using object-oriented programming. Next questions. Mention two limitations of POP and OOP. POP means procedure-oriented programming and OOP means object-oriented programming. Now the limitations of POP is what? No restrictions on data values, so managing changes is difficult as it impacts the entire program. No reusability concept, hence time management, testing and length of the program increases. This is the two limitations of POP. Whereas in object-oriented programming requires intensive testing processes. It requires very intensive testing processes, and solving problems takes more time as compared to procedure-oriented programming. So these are the limitations of object-oriented programming. Next question is, how is encapsulation useful in object-oriented programming? Explain. Encapsulation restricts the free flow of data from one object to another. The data and functions are wrapped together in an object in such a way that the data of a particular object can only be used in associated functions. Thus, encapsulation helps in protecting the data from unauthorized access. So, this is the usefulness of encapsulation. The question number 6: what are the advantages of high level languages? Now, high level languages are machine independent, first advantage. Second, high level language are human readable as instructions are written using English like words and phrases. It is easier to understand and develop the program logic in high level languages. The error detection and correction is easier. So, this is the advantage of using high level language. So, thank you for today, and I will join you again with next unit. And next unit is what? Introduction to Java. Till then, you please write these question answers and exercises in your copy. Bye everyone.